Hey, come here for a minute. It's Testimony Tuesday, and I want to tell you about the time that an angel came to my rescue. I know you're probably thinking an angel with wings. No, it wasn't. I don't know if it was an earth angel or one of God's heavenly hosts, but this is what happened. My great-grandmother was in the hospital, and we knew that she only had a matter of days left. I lived out in the middle of nowhere. There literally was only one flashing light stop sign, no street lights, one gas station, and I think like 3 pizza places. Go figure that part. Anyway, you knew when you crossed over the county line because they never cleaned off our drives, our roads. I had a few acres, and it was real early in the morning. I had been at the hospital late that night with my family, and I was getting up and getting dressed, and there was a knock on the door. When I opened the door, there was snow that was literally covering the hood of my car. There was a man. He was very tall. He had eyes that were so blue and kind and gentle. I can't even explain to you his eyes. He was a tall man. He was wearing overalls, like Carhartt overalls. I remember they were like a khaki color. And he looked at me and he said, "Do you need your driveway clean?" Now, mind you, I had just gotten up. I open the door. I see the snow. I start to freak out because I was getting ready to go do my shift at the hospital with my Grammy. Because my grandma had been there all night long, and it was my turn to let her go home and sleep. I said to him, yes, my granny is in the hospital and she's not doing well. She's expected to pass from this world anytime, and I don't know how I'm gonna get there. I went back in and closed the door, and I went down the hall to my bedroom. My husband at the time said, "Who was at the door?" And I told him what had happened, and he jumps up and yells at me, "We don't have the money to pay this man." He goes down the hall, goes out the door, and then he yells for me. I come to the door. The driveway behind my car is perfectly clear out into the road. There's no one around. There's no evidence that anyone had been around. The snow in the street was still there. The night crew had cleared the street, but you could see how a fresh amount of snow had just fallen on top of that. No other driveway was clear, just mine, and just behind my vehicle. And I had not even told that man which vehicle was mine, because in my state of panic and just knowing I had to get to the hospital, I gave him very little information. I walked out into the driveway, down the driveway, and into the road, and I looked around, and I stood in awe. There was no trace of a vehicle being there. We are talking about a matter of minutes. I never heard a snowblower. I never heard a shovel. Nothing. You cannot tell me that I did not have a divine encounter, because I know that I did. Whether God used an earthly person that showed up out of nowhere, or that was an angel of the Lord, I do not know. But I got to the hospital. I got to see my granny one last time. I got to rub lotion on her feet and read to her from scripture, even though I wasn't walking with the Lord at the time. I know that she heard me, even though she was no longer responding. God gave me those last minutes, and that is my testimony for today. And let me tell you, God is an amazing God. He cares about the things that we care about. And if He cares about those details, don't you think that He cares about the rest? So you all be blessed. Remember, we overcome by the blood of the Lamb and the word of our testimony, and faith comes by hearing, and hearing the word. You guys have to share. You have to share, because you never know who you might be encouraging today. So remember, Enjoy whatever it is you got in that cup.